Russell, we are in the heart of Takoma Park, and who would think that if you came into Takoma Park, which is very urban, we'd find this huge open green space and beautiful park. Talk a little bit about this park and what it means to this community.
It's a gathering place, it's a playing place, there's entertainment, people exercise here, there's competitive basketball tournaments that go on here. So it's a pretty big deal.
And there's a renovation that's in play here. It's only been 2 years since this park was redone. Talk a little bit about that and what happened here.
The park was a little old and run down, and the city of Takoma Park asked for and collaborated with the Park and Planning Commission to renovate it. There were a couple of tennis courts that were not being used and they were in disrepair. The basketball court wasn't in as good condition, but in summer of 2012 they had a big grand opening, and it is what you see now.
The community, I imagine here we've got a lot of different folks from different nationalities who live in the Takoma Park area. Can you talk a little bit about how this park fits into the fabric of the community?
I see it more in the kids than anywhere else, because the kids, you can tell they're from so many different types of backgrounds and cultures, but they're just playing together and just having a good time. They just come together right here.
So having Steve Francis's name on this basketball court and having him given a big chunk of his money to help make this happen, how does that add to the value and the meaning of this park to the folks in the community?
It's a big draw for the kids because they're always idolizing athletes and wanting to be like them and play like them and imitate them. So it's a pretty big deal for them.
And also, he grew up here, so it adds meaning in that regard, doesn't it?
Yes, the history. You always like a hometown hero to be part of the area, even when they move up and move on.
How is this park unique and different from those other parks that you manage?
The first thing that comes to mind is the fact that there's a skate park. This is the only park I manage that has a skate park. This one's open, sun up to sundown, no fees associated, so kids are in there all the time.
And the graffiti aspect of it, it's sort of an interesting story. Tell that story to us about how you decided to come to terms with the fact that graffiti was going to be a part of this part of the park.
Well, the first thing they did when the park opened was tag the skate area. And there was just graffiti everywhere overnight. So we came out and we painted over it. 2 days later, it was back. So finally, then director Mary Bradford said, hey, the skate culture has an aspect of graffiti to it. As long as it's not vulgar, obscene, or gang related, why don't we let some of it stay and see how it goes? And that's been the working compromise ever since.
And it sort of adds to the character of this part of the park, if I might say so myself. It sort of gives it a different flair.
Yeah, it takes a little bit of understanding, but you're exactly right.
What would you want to tell folks about this park that would bring them here? What would you want to tell them that makes this park unique and special?
What other place, so close to DC is going to have these amenities this far away from traffic, and for the most part is free if you want to just come and be a casual user.
Great. Russell, thanks so much.
You're welcome.
For taking time to talk to us today about this park. That wraps up this edition of Around Town. Maybe next time we'll be in your neighborhood.